because but tonight's probably gonna be one of our shortest Zooms. But I want to leave you with like something to write down. And so I hope you have a pen and paper or pencil paper. But I got to talking to Harriet and we were just like, what do we feel like we need to focus on? And we were both like, we just need to refocus. Like, and we need to normalize that, like, it's okay to lose focus. It's okay to kind of get lax in the way that you do things as a business owner and as a leader. And that constant refocus is always going to be something that's happening in your business. It's catching yourself and pulling yourself back in where it's going to make all the difference for you. And so, like I said, this is going to be super, super short Zoom, but I wrote down I wrote down on here just a tiny bit of notes. Hold on, here comes Harriet. One thing that she said, we were texting back and forth. Oh my God, my cat sees a bug and making the weirdest noises. But she said, let's normalize not feeling focused, but be aware of the areas where you have dropped the ball. Okay. Mic drop, because we all have areas in our business where it's like, dang, I could have done better. Like, dang, I used to do this so much smoother. I used to hit that live button and not get nervous. I used to be so creative. I used to be in this creative flow and I'm just like in a funk or in a rut. Okay. And it's our responsibility as a leader to catch ourselves when we're in that space and say, you know what, it's okay. It's okay. And this is where we rein it back in. And sometimes that's where you need like a fresh focus. And I'll go over, I think I went over a little bit last week, but I started using for my IPA list, I started using the Habit app because I found, especially with taking this travel assignment in North Carolina, my time to actually look at my planner is like only on Sunday. Like it is, my schedule is insane. And it's like I literally am like constantly going, and I like stress over that a little bit, but I also did it to myself, right? And so it's like, Amber, you've got to find in these moments where you're super busy where you can still reel it back in. And so I decided to take my IPA list and put it on the Habit app because I was doing, which is another thing, like I fell off of my E60 when I was trying to do it the last time. I'm not at the point where I'm exactly ready to throw that in the mix right this second, but it was something that was helpful for me whenever I was doing E60 and trying to be consistent because I could make my own habits. And I like that. And on that app, you can put on there, like I put things like prayer, I put how many ounces of water, I put move my body for 30 minutes, I put self-development, and you can like swipe it across and complete it once you complete it. And it looks like starts to look like that. And so you can kind of see. And what I noticed when I was playing with it the other day, I was like, oh, wait, these don't just have to be daily goals. Because what they typically are is it's a daily goal and it all resets to zero the next day. But some of them you can make a weekly goal. So I put on there, like for this one, I put share a plus line item this week. And I put 5 times a week was my goal. And this so far this week I've done one, right? But like each time I do it, I'll move a little bit further. But this is like my portable way of like freshening up my IPA list instead of like using the notes bubble, whatever I was using before. I don't know. Sometimes you just need like a fresh way of looking at it to say, okay, like I'm making this a little bit interesting again, so it's not so monotonous. And what Harriet said was just like completely on point. She said constant refocus is part of the journey. It's part of the journey of learning how to continue to be consistent. Because once you learn how to be consistent in something, whether it be business, whether it be going to the gym, eating healthy, you haven't mastered it, right? Like imagine if you're on a diet or you're trying to eat healthier. That's a habit it's gonna eat at you a little bit every day, and you're gonna have moments where you're gonna be lax, and you're gonna have moments where it's super stressful and it's more convenient to go through the McDonald's drive-through, right? But that constant refocus, like, okay, I'm not gonna let my one bad day turn into 2 bad days, turn into a complete bad week, turn into completely giving up on my goal. I'm gonna refocus myself and say, I'm worth the refocus tomorrow. Okay. And so I put on here, I want to remind you guys what your 2 most valuable assets are as a leader. Do you guys remember what those are? Your 2 most valuable assets, your time and your energy. Okay. And when you find that you are not focused on your business, you're not focused in your business the way that you used to be, it's likely because you stopped prioritizing your two main assets as a leader. You stop prioritizing your time and your energy, and you fall victim to like scrolling, or you fall victim to, like me this past week, I haven't batched the way that I used to be batching. And so then I fall into, okay, my schedule's crazy and it's overwhelming sometimes when my schedule's so crazy and I haven't prepared myself for it. Right. And I find myself on days where it's like, I do have a day off. I'm exhausted and I just want to rest. And I know my body needs rest, but at the same time, I know that my heart would have wanted me to use that time wisely to batch at least a couple or do something that I can get to move my business forward next week. Does that make sense? And so, let me get back to, I've got my notes spread out here a little bit. Um, I do want to, I'm gonna put it in the chat just to kind of like get a last call for the book, for the Riches Fuck. I'm not gonna say that, but that book, I started listening to it on my drive, and I was just like, wow, like this is a book I need to have on paper because I want to highlight all the things. Like I want to have it as a reference to go back. And at the end of each chapter, it sounded like she was doing like questions, and I was like, this is perfect, especially because we've had, I feel like, a lot of discussions lately as a team where I feel like many of us have a financial struggle going on right now, and it's okay that we do, but I want us to come out stronger as a team because of the battles that we're going through, right? And so I want to open up, if you guys want to do that, read that book together for October and do it as kind of like a book club. Jennifer, you're welcome too. I don't think I had you down on the list just yet, but I'm personally buying the books for us. I'm planning on buying them hopefully before the end of the week. Harriet, since you already physically have it, I'm going to be buying your next one, but I'm going to buy them towards the end of the week and I'm going to ship them out. I'm hoping to ship them out this weekend so that we have them. Can you guys believe it's almost the end of September? Holy moly. But so that we have them, you got a whole week for it to get delivered to you. But I'm gonna put it in the chat too, because I think there's some people in the chat that are quiet and I want to make sure that they know that they're always invited to that too. But one thing she said, when I was driving home the other day, she said, money avoids people who don't value their time, because it's like this energetic match. She was talking about like, no matter what you're doing, you're an energetic match for something. I actually told that to a patient today. We got talking like woo-woo stuff, and she was just like, I love you. And I was like, I love you too. Like, but she was just like, she wanted to know all the books I was reading and all these things. And I was like, so I was listening to this book and it said that you're always an energetic match for something. And when we get things in our life, we can't be surprised if we were all woe is me, or everything's crap, or my business sucks, or when we don't have results because we've been acting accordingly, right? Versus if we're acting in abundance and we're like, everything is working out for me. I'm going through hard seasons because of a reason for this season, right? And we always, you know, we're acting in that faith that is attracting good things to you. And she was talking about money specifically, but she was just like, money avoids people who don't value their time. And so we have to be careful. We have to eliminate distractions, and we all have different distractions too. So you have to kind of like pick that apart for yourself. For me, I know I've explained this before, but for me, it's trying to accomplish all the things that have nothing to do with business, but it takes my mind off of the things that I'm not doing to move the needle forward in my business, because it makes me feel good in another area of my life. Does that make sense? And so you might do that same thing. You might clean the house. You might rage clean like me. You might go for a walk or go exercise, or you might go out with friends, or you might watch another, season on Netflix or whatever. But we all have distractions that are keeping us from doing the things that we need to do. And inevitably, they're causing the emotions that we're having in our business of frustration and disappointment and overwhelm, because we sat in that space for too long, if that makes sense. And we didn't decide for ourselves that we were going to move forward and we were going to fix it and we were going to put a plan together for our business, right? Because we're all a little bit different. So that's something to focus on a little bit. It's just kind of sit down with yourself and say, okay, I wrote down this question. I wrote down what's hurting me in my business. So write that down. What's hurting me in my business? Because for me, it's things like that. It's things like the rage cleaning. It's things like trying to take everything upon myself. Caught myself doing it the other day. Sean offered to help me. I said, no, I can do it. And then I like festered on it for like 10 minutes and I started getting frustrated with all the things I had to do. And I go back in and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop being so hard headed and I'm going to let you go pick up the girls. That would be very helpful if you go pick up the girls. Right. Because like, I just like, I don't know. I was just having a moment where I was just like, I can do this. I can do that. I can do that. I can do all the things. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm superwoman. Right. Like, no, we're not. But, that's one of my vices is I just feel like I can do all the things. I think Harriet's even called me out on that a couple times. And it's okay, it's okay because we learn from the things that we go through. And I feel like that's one thing that this business is so special for is it kind of like opens up this new area of growth for yourself where you learn yourself on a deeper level, versus what probably you would have known about yourself if you had never dove into network marketing before. Let's see. I wrote down these two questions. I wrote down what's helping my business and what's hurting my business. What's helping me in my business and what's hurting me in my business. So those are questions only you can answer. Some examples like switching over to that habit app, just at least temporarily and kind of freshening me up a little bit is kind of like helping me refocus on my IPAs and not ignore them and not think, because, I know we talked about it a little bit last week that once you've been here long enough, like putting up that post is going to kind of be a no-brainer for you. You're going to kind of like flow with that a little bit. And it's not going to be something that is like a thorn in your side every day. It's just going to naturally happen where you're putting up your post, you're on your stories, but like in the DMs, like connecting with people, talking to people, building those friendships, like that might be where you lack a little bit, right? And so we have to kind of acknowledge that for ourselves and say, you know what, what's helping me in my business and what's hurting me in my business. And so for me, that's an example of flipping over the IPAs just at least temporarily so that I can look at it and be like, okay, this feels a little bit lighter and I'm going to play with it a little bit. And not being afraid to kind of change it up and go off the path of what you're used to doing because that fresh energy could bring new inspiration for something else, right? But things that might be hurting you in your business, again, those are things that only you know. It could be where you're spending your time and where you're spending your energy. You could be spending your energy comparing yourself to everybody else on the team. You could be spending your energy doing other things like I do. You could be, not taking your product seriously. You could be, that might be an area that is for me, at least, where I know that is like a little bit of a drawback for me is I know that I could be taking my product more seriously. And I used to work out a lot more than I do, but I also understand that I'm in like the most hectic season of my life. Right. And I have to give myself a little bit of grace, but I have to also acknowledge like when I'm not aligning my habits with my goals. Does that make sense, you guys? And so just kind of like take those two questions with you tonight, like what's helping me in my business and what's hurting me in my business. Because I don't want you to feel defeated in the middle of the month and go, well, this month is crap. Like we're just going to try better in October. Like that's never the mentality or the mindset you want to take into a new month or end a month on, because that's going to actually follow you probably for another 30 days. If you decide like I'm checked out, I'm going to wipe my hands of September, I'm going to just forget it. That's kind of like saying I'm going to wait till January 1st to go like get my health together, right? Like we all know that that's not the best option, right? That's not the best option to just sit there and wait till Monday. Diet starts Monday. I'm going to do this on the new year, new me. It's like, no, like make the decision now to actually intentionally change your habits to get towards the goal that you want. I put on there, don't allow things to defeat you. And you have to also remember when you're in a bonus season, you guys, that the things that you're doing in your business every single day, like you're not doing it for a bonus. Like we might be in bonus season and those bonuses might be life changing for a lot of us, right? But we are ultimately not doing any of this for a bonus. We are doing this to build a business. We're doing this to build a business that can get you closer to where you want to be, right? That can help you give yourself the life that you want, give your babies the life that you want to be able to provide for them, right? And it's beyond that bonus because I guarantee you, when bonuses are done on November 30th, you're going to look at your babies and you're going to say, I'm still fighting, right? Like I'm still going, I'm not stopping, even if a bonus is not attached to me, right? I'm not giving up on that dream house. I'm not giving up on my girls. Like tomorrow is like parents, pastries with parents or something, and I can't go. And Sean's gonna go, thank goodness. But like for a moment there, like neither one of us were gonna be able to go. And to listen to Kaylin cry and say, I'm gonna be the only kid without a parent there, like that killed me. Right. And so it's moments like that where I'm just like, this is more than like bonus season. This is like I want my kids, and I paint this picture a lot, but like I know they're going to be in extracurricular activities, but like I don't want them to look at the stands and say my like there's a hole because my mom's at work, right? I want them to know that I'm always there, right? And the only way that I'm going to be able to provide them that is if I never give up. If I don't give up in hard seasons and hectic seasons and seasons where maybe I'm become a little less focused, instead I use that and I say, you know what? No, like I'm going to get back on track. I'm going to get back on track because this is important to me. This is important to my babies. This is important to my team, right? And I have all you guys goals on our vision board for a reason because it's not just about bonus season. It's not about any of that. It's not about the car bonus. It's not about any of that. It's about what kind of life can I help somebody else create? And the only way I can do that is not by coming into your house and making sure that I'm saying, get on your stories, make sure you get your posts up for today. No, it's not that. It's not putting your pants on for you. It's going myself every damn day and saying, you know what, being that example for you guys to say, even in my hardest seasons, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure out how to show up. Even if it's not like it doesn't look exactly what it used to look like. There's days where my stories are a lot more quiet. It's fine. I don't take my foot off the gas, right? Because my destination is way beyond bonus season. It's way beyond any of that. Okay. So take those two questions with you tonight. That's really all I have for you tonight. We're going to call it a night. And I'll put in the chat about the book club. I will get to, you guys are welcome to unmute yourself, but I will get to the comp plan video at some point. I don't know when. That makes me very nervous, but I'll figure it out. I'm not a numbers person. I'm not green. I'm not like all the details. I'm like mushy gushy. You sell me a vision, I'm there with you, boo. But like when you talk like what percentages we make off of things, like I'm gonna fall asleep. But I'm gonna try my best to get it done. I've still got to go back and kind of learn myself a little bit. But do you guys, we'll just start it in the chat. We'll start it in the chat. I don't know when you guys want to open that up, that page. And I don't remember, forgive me, but I don't remember who's doing the opportunity Zoom on Tuesday. Is that me? Is it me?
It's me.
Okay. So eventually our goal is to have those opportunity lives in that page. I just don't know when you want to do it. Like when does it seem like there's enough information in there? Like do we have to have the
Well, I'm still pending to do my video. I actually plan on doing it tonight, but I just had car trouble. So maybe in the morning I'll hop in there and do mine. But I feel like I don't know what's missing. I think Kristen had one to do on community as well. So I feel like when we get that info in there, because I don't want our potentials in there and we're still building it, you know. So they're gonna see posts here, posts there, instead of just the purpose
Having it
of
all together.
right having it together, and then all they see is when we pop up once a week on Tuesday, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everything that we had already talked about in the leadership chat, we'll make sure that all that gets in there within like another.
I'm thinking at least by the end of the month would be a good goal, you
That's a
know.
good goal.
Yeah.
Okay. That
Start
takes
it maybe
pressure off.
October.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. We'll do that. All right, you guys. I love you. Does anybody else have anything else they want to add?
I'm still eating next Monday, right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna try my best. I work 8 to 8:30. I might possibly get out a little bit early, but I'll put it in the leadership chat, the login, because I think it's like way up there and I don't want you to have to go search for it. Okay. But if you could open it and start it and then just hit record wherever you're on and it will go to cloud. And then I'll hop on as soon as I can. But thank you for helping.
I
Okay.
figure out what I'm talking about.
It's all good. That's me every week. I'm just like, oh gosh, I don't know. Right. But that's how we grow. That's how we grow. Okay. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Y'all know that. Like we're just here to love on each other, to grow as a team. I love you guys so much. Y'all go have a good night.